team presentations. Every single team will be presenting today. And then for those of you who opted in for the solo project, you're here to observe and then ultimately to vote. One thing I do want to raise before we get started is there is actually some people in this room today who have never really met. They never had a class together, and they're not in the same LC. So what I want to do is we have some LCJ people here, and we have some IO students here. The two of you never really crossed paths. You never met before. So let's go ahead and start off this Wednesday morning in the chat box. Put one interesting thing about yourself in typical Europe fashion. What is one fun fact about yourself? And maybe you'll realize, oh, this person, loves cats. I love cats too. And then something kind of cool. You can build some affinity. So go ahead in the chat box, one little thing about yourself, and then we'll go ahead and read those, and then we'll go ahead and jump into today's presentation. Jesus is from Brooklyn, New York. All right. We have a lot of Brooklyn people here at Europe. Love it. Thanks, Jesus. I love to cook, and I'll soon be a restaurant owner, May says. Lives in the Bronx. Yes, that's right. And we're all going to your restaurant on the day you open. Looking forward to that. Dondre, look at that. Dondre and Jesus, both from Brooklyn. You guys can hang out. See, Brooklyn's a pretty small place, right? It's like only a couple blocks, right? One time I had the really smart idea when I first moved to New York City, and I was like clueless on how huge Brooklyn was. I was like, I'm gonna ride my bike from the Bronx to Coney Island, right? I mean, how big can Brooklyn really be? I mean, it's what, 2 miles? So I rode my bike all the way down to the Brooklyn Bridge, went across it, and then at that point I'm kind of getting like, oh, I'm a little tired, but I'm okay. And Ricky's laughing at me because he already knows what's gonna happen. And I crossed the Brooklyn Bridge, and I'm like, all right, I'll be at Coney Island in like what, 15 minutes? And I kept on pedaling and kept on pedaling and kept on pedaling. I'm like, oh my gosh, why am I not there yet? How big is this borough? And after like 2 hours of just going, I finally made it to Coney Island. I ate a hot dog. I sat on the beach, and then I took the train home because I'm like, I'm not riding back because that's too far. And that was my day in Brooklyn. I haven't been back since. That was like 7 years ago. All right, let's see what else. We got a lot of interesting things going on here. Brooklyn, let's go. I can't swim, Ashley Ross says. Not even float. I love horror movie and sci-fi. Interesting, Karina. Mamu was across the street from Obama, but did not get to meet him. That's pretty cool. Oh, Tyrell's a twin. I didn't know that. So is Ashley Buffon, right? Is Ashley here? I think she is. Every pet I own died. Yes, you are. Yeah, very cool. Brian feels like he's the only one from Queens. That's not true. Rahul's from Queens. Is Rahul here? Look at that. Ashley Ross, Angie can teach you. She was a swim instructor. Eric Palmer met 50 Cent before. Wow, that's interesting. I know you like to sing, Alex. That's pretty cool. See, there you go. Another Queens people. Eric Palmer and Ricardo. So just want to do that, just sort of break the ice. Like as you probably are looking around, you're thinking, I don't recognize some of these people. That's why they're a different LC than you, and you've never had a class with them. All right, everybody. Real quick, couple of ways things are going to go today. And then we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. Number one is at the end of everybody giving their presentations, we're going to vote on the team that we felt did the best. I do want to give some clarifying information on that, though. The first thing is that the team that wins the most votes will get a 10% bump to their final grade. Let me make sure I nuance this. Not to their final grade for the whole course, their final presentation grade. All right, just make people get confused by that. We'll make it clear. The grade that they're getting today, not like the total grade, 10% to their grade from today. A few things I want to be really clear about is you're not voting for your friends. All right, you're not saying, oh, well, Jesus is my friend, so I'm going to vote for Jesus. That's not the point of this exercise. All right, you're not voting for your friends. You're not voting for people you want to work with. Okay, that's the first thing. You're not voting for a product or project that you personally would want to work on. And so I want you to do your best to try to, remove your bias. Think, okay, like maybe I think this product is really, really cool, but this team actually did a better job presenting. you would vote for the team that did a better job presenting, not because you like the product or don't like the product. You don't vote for the team that has the prettiest PowerPoint or the most dynamic speakers. That's not the point of this, even though that might help, of course, but you want to vote for the team that you felt like had the most robust plan and you felt had the strongest handle on how to execute on the project. All right. So you're sitting here listening and you're saying, which one of these teams did I sense from their kickoff meeting? They had the strongest, robust plan on how to handle and execute on a project. That is what you're voting for. You're not voting for your friends. You're not voting for what product you like the best. You're not voting for who had the best PowerPoint or the funniest speakers. You're voting for, okay, this team, I felt like they really knew what they were doing. And someone made this point the other day. You cannot vote for your own team. All right. You cannot say, oh man, my team was the best, obviously. So in Zoom, I can actually see who voted for what. I will be going back and looking after class. And if you vote for your own team, it will result in a 10% drop for you on the final. All right. So if your team got an 80 and then you voted for your own team, then guess what? Then you got a 70. All right. So let me go ahead and put these in the chat box. You cannot vote for your own team. So like I said, you're not voting for your friends. You're not voting for a product that you personally like. That is not fair. Yes, it is. All right. 4 teams, please keep your the language to a corporate professional. So for the teams, you have 5 minutes to speak. All right. 5 minutes. At the 4-minute mark, Ranish, I'm giving Ranish permission to do something that I never allowed a year of student to do in the whole entire time I've taught. He's allowed to use his phone during class. Everyone gasp. And the reason why is because he is going to be keeping time. All right. So when you guys get to the 4-minute mark, Ranish is going to put in the chat, I'm sorry, 1 minute left. Okay. And what that means, when he writes 1 minute left, does that mean your team should talk for 5 more minutes? No, that means wrap it up. You got 1 minute left. And for the sake of the amount of presentations we need to get through today, if you get to the 7-minute mark and you're still talking, I don't want to do this, but I'm gonna be like, all right, guys, like you're done. I'm sorry, but you can't talk for 7 minutes. It's a 5-minute presentation, 7 minutes, you're done. Ranish will give you the 1 minute warning. And then when you see that in the chat box, that means, okay, if we're only a third through our presentation, we've got to hurry up and wrap it up. Everyone on your team should speak at least once. That is not required though. All right. And I'm not making a requirement that every single person has to speak. And you should be, if the tech allows you to, be on camera during the presentation portion of your team. I will email you who did the team presentation this afternoon, asking you to fill out who was the leader of the group, who is worthy of a few extra points because he or she really went above and beyond. And I'll ask who was the person who did not pull their weight and is worthy of losing a few points of the final grade. All right, so I'll send that this afternoon, and we'll ask that you please write that back by the end of the day today. I'll include that information in the email. For observers, for those of you who are not presenting today, or when it's not your turn to present, you are welcome to turn your camera off during the presentations. I'll be doing the same because I'll be grading. Also, please utilize this time to take notes because the reality is there's, I believe, 6 teams going today. And by the end, you're gonna think, oh gosh, who had the best presentation? I don't know. So use that time to take notes when you notice things like key terms, when you notice things like a clear idea of what they're gonna execute on. When you say that they really have thought through the details of what makes a project great, write those notes down, all right? Because at the end, you're gonna think, oh gosh, they all did a good job. I don't know, I'll vote for this random team. So just make sure that you, take notes of who you think is the best. And also, just so we're aware, for the sake of time, we are not giving formal feedback today on people's final presentations, but I do encourage you when they are done to share out some positive encouragement in the chat box. All right, so really well done, team. You guys crushed it. I love this idea. This would be really hard to choose because everyone did so great, but we're not going to be doing, plus deltas. We're not going to be doing any of that because we have a lot to get through in a short amount of time. All right. Any questions on anything I just shared so far before we talk about the order of things? All right, run of show. Team 1, you're going first. Amna, Majida, Ashley G, Eric, and Mahmood. Team 2, Manny, Jalissa, Naftali, Muhammad, Christian. Team 3, Ricky, Karina, David, Ashley Ross, Evelyn. Team 4, Amadul, Ashley B, Jesus, Usman. Team 5, Andre, Chelsea, Tiana, Samaje. Team 6, Brian, Angie, and Tyrell. That's the order of how things are going to go. All right.
Hey, Eric.
Yes.
Just I don't know if you know, but just so you should know, Evelyn decided to leave the program, so she's no longer in our group.
Okay. Thanks for the heads up, Ricky. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I didn't know that. Okay. Thanks for letting me know, Ricky. I wish her the best. I'll be sure to shoot her an email later on today. That stinks. All right. Thanks for the heads up. So Amna, Majida, Ashley G, and Mahmood. When you guys are prepared, you can go ahead and get started. Renish, once the first person starts speaking, that's when you start the timer. And then you give them the 1 minute warning. I'm going to go off camera because I'm going to be taking notes. Everyone else who's not presenting can also go off camera and utilize this time to take notes as well. But team 1, we'll go ahead and exit my full screen. Team 1, the floor is yours. Let's go ahead and give them a clap and welcome to the stage.
Can you guys see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. So we chose to work on creating an app known as the Open Tech, by me, Mahmood, Amna, Ashley Gavin, and Eric Palmer. Starting off by the scope consists of the start and end date, the needs, and how exactly will that project get accomplished. For the start and end date, we'll be starting on January 1st, 2021. Well, the end date will be March 15, 2021, 3 months and 2 weeks. I'll be passing off the needs to Mahmood.
Okay, thank you. So it's going to be a complete project management app with all the features you'll need to manage your project. It's going to have a shared Dropbox for sharing files, a scheduling feature for setting dates and times for deadlines, a chat feature so you can communicate with your teammates, and it's going to be able to convert PDF files to other formats and has a built-in dictionary for looking up terms that you need to look up. Okay, I'll pass it back to Majda.
Exactly how do we intend on getting this done? Our first step is to implement the Agile methodology. And within the Agile methodology, we'll be going through sprints. And in order to accomplish what we need to get within each sprint, we will be dedicating a week in where we will be designing the sprints. From there, we will be taking 7 weeks of developing and prototyping the app itself. And then from there, 2 weeks of deploying tools in order to test the app. In addition to all of this, we will be testing the type of software that will be used. What languages will be used? For example, HTML, C++, Python, or JavaScript. In addition to that, we also will be designing our user interface. In order to make sure that our customers have the best experience in using our app, we will be focusing on the user interface as well. And now passing on to deliverables to Ashley.
Okay, so as we are building our app, we have to make sure that all of our employees know exactly what to do in order to make sure that we get our app done on time. So we will start off by the stand-up and sketching our app idea. Then we will schedule weekly meetings to make sure that our work is executed by our employees. We have to do some market research in order to know what's lucrative in the market. We have to create a mock-up of our app to know exactly what we want it to look like. We have to make an app graph of an IC design. We have to build our app landing page. We have to, of course, launch the app in the App Store in order for it to sell. And then we have to market our app to reach the right people. So now I'm going to pass it off to Amina.
Now, some common assumptions people may have are worded here as answerable questions. Is it actually necessary? One may ask. And the answer to that is yes. As your participants, we often have a lot of group work to complete outside of class time. And with this app, scheduling and chatting with our groups is made easier. There is also a Dropbox feature that helps with placing all the group documents in one designated place. Do the majority of students even want to use it? And to this, we also say yes. Because we personally, and even some of our colleagues have agreed that we have wished to have had an app like this to aid in our virtual classes within this program. As for the last one, how likely are students and staff willing to depend on this app? We plan to conduct surveys of both the students and staff, asking them how likely they are to frequently use this app if created. From this data, we can confidently state how much of a demand there really is. And now moving on to financials.
Okay, so here we have the financial analysis that breaks down the cost of all features we want to add to the app. So for the user interface and the user experience, it's going to cost $10,000. We have the features and functionality broken down over here. So the total cost of the features would be $27,000. The API would be $10,000. Backend would be $10,000. Quality assurance $2,000, and the total cost would be $42,000. I'll pass this off to Eric now.
We do have issues, which is technology failure. This might happen whenever we are trying to fix any bugs of the app or updating the app. Security override, sometimes we would have any app override by someone hacking into our app, but thanks to the support system, we will be on the case as soon as possible for any problem. Insecure data storage, our app may slow down or freeze up time to time, but this is part of our maintenance. We try to adjust data storage so it can run smoothly on your phone or laptop frequently. And passing on to the next slide.
Thank you. Any questions?
Excellent. Thank you so much, Team One. Open Tech, sign me up. This looks like a great program. Appreciate it, team. Can we go ahead and give them a clap? You can go ahead and pull your PowerPoint down. Excellent. And right on the money, about 6 minutes. You presented, everyone spoke. You guys all used really good key terms. I heard scope, I heard agile, I heard sprint, I heard stand up. So excellent. Great job, team. Did great. If you guys can get some comments in the chat box, share what they did well. And we're gonna go ahead and get set up for team two. And also thank you, Renish, for keeping an eye on the clock. So team two, real quickly, Manny, Jalissa, Neftali, Muhammad, and Christian. All right, so whenever your first speaker is ready, the floor is yours.
Oh wait, sorry. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry, something went wrong. Give me 1 second. My apology. Okay, guys. So, I now present you. Breaking news today, guys. We're gonna present you IZ by Google. Now, IZ is brought to you by Jalissa Lopez, yours truly, Mohammed Baha, Neftali, and Christian Cajas. Now, the start date of the project is going to be on December 4th, 2020. And the end date is going to be February 26, 2021. Now, clarify business need. Now, people are currently looking into devices of technology. Now, I know many of you are tired of paying for glasses and things like that. And this is why we decided to make these kind of glasses, mixing with technology and health for your eyes. According to the Vision Council of America, approximately 75% of adults use some sort of vision correction with AV contacts or regular glasses like the ones I'm wearing right now. About 64% of them wear eyeglasses, 11% wear contact glasses. Now, I'm gonna pass it to my next colleague.
Our internal team is made up of 5 people. We have Manny being the team leader, and then we have Mohammed being the project manager. And we all have different important roles in the project in order to produce the best project. And as you can see from the table, everyone has their specific responsibilities and roles in order to make everything flow how it should. Now on the next slide, we have the WBS chart. And that is broken down into 5 different categories. We have the initiation, the planning, the execution, control, and closing. And all of that is made in order to make the following project easier and to keep everything efficient. Now, working with Google, we have hired a specialized IT team that will create the product and make that idea into something tangible for our audience. Now I'll pass it on to my next colleague.
Thank you, Jalissa. Now, what are some risks and issues? Simple. So the smart glasses. One of the risks is like a lot of people that I'm really concerned about is the following: overheating, insurance. What if you lose your glasses? What if this happens? What if that happens? Wi-Fi problems. Considering that we're going to be working with Google, the battery life. No problem with that. The overheating. No need to overheat. There's not going to be a problem since the glasses will be the charger for this like the glasses case is going to be the charger, just like the AirPods. The AirPods is not overheat. Why? Because it uses that little case. Same thing with us. The charger case is going to be one of these. As you guys can see, this is one of the cases for your glasses to charge. The insurance for the glasses will be paid upfront once the glasses are being purchased. The Wi-Fi, that's not gonna be a problem. Everything will be running through Bluetooth. The battery life, it at least lasts from 12 to 16 hours maximum while using the Bluetooth, as I mentioned before. The Bluetooth is what gives battery life. Other than that, it's just gonna be like any ordinary glasses. Now, I'm gonna pass it to my next colleague.
Yes, I'll take over. So just like every business, you need to start with business with assumption. When assumptions are good, they are good for project. If your assumption is failed, it's bad for the project. Assumption and dependency are important for project, and they need to be identified and controlled continuously. For example, before a project, you need to have a clear ideas that the stakeholders will come into that first meeting. And you need to have a clear start date and end date that the project will be available. Example of dependencies is each task and stage has to be dependent on each other's. If the first task is not clear, the second task is impossible to be done. Okay. I'm now going to pass on to Naftali.
Yes, so these are our financial analyses. The typical average of annual revenue for starting a company of eyeglasses is around 325,000. We want to make sure that we don't go over our budget, and everything under it is everything that adds up to 325,000. And it's the construction, which is about 125,000, clinical equipment, 70,000, full lane as well as diagnostic equipment, optical displays and business equipment, which is about 30,000. Inventory, 25,000 with payment terms on some lines. Working capital, 75,000. 606 frames needed in inventory. The national staffing cost rate is about 21 to 24%, and the cost of goods should be about 35% or lower. Now moving on to my next colleague.
So this is our milestone schedule. As you can see, we divided into 3 sections: initiation and planning meetings, execution phase, and control and presenting product to the sponsor and customers. We already have a few meetings that we complete, but we're still missing the execution phase. That's gonna start on December 13. Hopefully the product is gonna be ready on February 26, 2000 for next year. And that's all our presentation. If you have any questions, go for it.
you so much, group. Can we go ahead and give them a clap? Just give me 1 second. I'm just finishing up my notes here. Feel free to give them some feedback in the chat box too. There was 2 things about this presentation that I really enjoyed. Number one, that work breakdown structure. Whoever did that, that was a work of art. So excellent job. I was like, wow, look at this. I'm a very proud project management instructor right now because this is amazing. And then also the Gantt chart at the very end. Was that you, Christian, who made that?
Yeah, I was
You
the
made
one.
that, you made that on Excel?
Nah, I made it online.
Yeah, online, cool. And Julissa made the work breakdown structure. Wow, Julissa, yeah. When you go to internship, if you ever show it to like your boss, it's like they're gonna make you the CEO the next day. So awesome job. All right, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Team 2, team 3. Ricky, Karina, David, Ashley, Ross. Please go ahead and get your materials prepared. And once you start speaking, Renish will go ahead and keep time. Both teams have done a very good job of wrapping it up. These guys went for about 6.5, 7 minutes. We don't want to go much beyond that for the sake of time. So when you see that 1 minute warning, that means it's really just trying to land the plane. All right. So whenever whoever's going first on your team, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. Today we have a very special and exciting project charter to present to you guys. And on my team is myself, Ashley Ross, David Torres, Karina, and Ricardo. So our project is ITMD, and I'm going to take it away, and David is going to tell you guys more about ITMD.
Thank you, Ashley. Me and my group will be developing an application called ITMD. This application analyzes and troubleshoots issues and viruses on your technical devices, both wired and wirelessly. Instead of having a technician come to your house and paying a repair fee, this application emulates the skills of an actual technician with just a touch of a button. The application works on all phones and computers. Next slide, please. No, yeah.
So the goal for ITMD is to have the most accurate hardware and software detection capabilities in its class, and to provide detailed information on your computer. As it is monitoring sensors in real time, it can gather accurate voltage, temperature, and fan speed readings, while its diagnostic functions help detect and prevent hardware issues. We will be testing throughout detection, invalid shortcuts, and security issues, and etc. To make this the most secure hardware, software, and efficient PC analysis app on the market. This app will fix your software issues and give 2 options for your hardware repairs: a self-service manual on how to fix your issues, or provide you the nearest technician for your needs. And I'll pass it on.
The project is for the creation of a mobile IT technician for all technical devices. This app will be for all computers and all phones. The interface will be user-friendly, so there will be no need for instructions on how to use the software. One thing you should know is you have to make sure both ITMD and your technical devices are on the same network, or this can be mission critical for all. The team will be in compliance and make updates every few weeks to make sure ITMD is feasible for everyone. ITMD has been known to crash at random times. So to mitigate this issue, the team will do test runs on the app frequently to make sure everyone has a frugal experience. ITMD will mark the first ever mobile technician for your devices. And I'll be passing it up to Ricardo.
Well, we did face, these are some of our deliverables that were the most important. While we did have a lot of deliverables to build this app, our project started January 1st. The first 2 things that we did was storyboarding and wireframing. This is where we got most of our ideas and started building out a blueprint of what we wanted the app to look like. Then we moved on to prototyping and user interface. This is where we got our development team to come in and start actually building a concrete design for the app. We also started getting visuals for the app, how the app would work, how our customers would interact with the app, and the experience that they would get. After this, coming close to the end of our project, we went through development and the beta testing. For the development, we got most of the application done, which was one of the most exciting things that we went through. For the beta testing, we sent out our application to a couple of technicians for a limited time in order to make sure that the app would run smoothly, and we were able to launch our full version. And then we launched our project May 14. We rolled out the GM version of our app to the whole public. I'll pass it on to Ashley Ross.
These are some key milestones within our project. So this is a 5-month project, and we see that programming code took the longest, with a end date of March 26th based on our January 1st date. This is the longest milestone in our execution phase because it is the main purpose of our app. The programming code is essentially going to be our technician within our app. Another important milestone is our launch date. This launch date will reflect all the hard work and energy we have all put in for this app in the entire 5 months. Next slide, please. So our total budget for this IT development, this ITMD app, excuse me, is $40,000. And this is our cost development breakdown. As I mentioned earlier, IT technician's role is the longest running out of them all at 10 weeks, and it will take out a large chunk of our overall budget. Overall, we are under budget by about $7,000 based on this chart to give us a little bit of wiggle room if anything arises, but based on our planning, I do not foresee this in our future. Next slide.
So we did go through we had some assumptions, risks, and issues. 2 issues that we did face was trying to get the software to work on both OS and Android devices. We did fix that through our beta phase or development phase. Another issue that we faced was the Crashwood app doing a lot during our beta tests, but that is exactly what we rolled it out for. We did get to fix those issues. Some assumptions, like we said, was that the app might crash, ITMD. Another assumption was that ITMD might not detect signal when both devices are on the same internet, which is what we aim for when we want the app to work together. And a risk that we saw within the app was that people will be attempting to repair their own devices themselves with no experience, but this is exactly why we built in a step-by-step manual on how to fix your devices to save costs and make sure that they get the best experience. But we also built in the ability to send it in to find the closest repair for you. And that's it. And thank you very much, guys. Any questions? That is ITMD.
Thank you so much, team.
ITMD for diagnostic needs.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you, group. Appreciate that. ITMD, Ricky Korean, David, and Ashley Ross. Awesome. Give them a clap. Give them some feedback in the chat box. Appreciate that. Just finish taking down a few more terms here. All right. Great. I love it. The deliverables chart was really well planned out, which was excellent. I love that everybody spoke. You used key terms. All in all, really good job, team. All right, moving right along. Team 4, Amadul, Ashley B, Jesus, and Usman. Whenever you all are ready.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. Welcome to our presentation. This IT Help Desk project is done by Amadul, Ashley Bafong, Usman Ba, and Jesus De Leon. And now my colleague Jesus will tell you more about our company.
do apologize. It's not working for some reason.
Good morning, everyone. Our business need for our company is called Up Technologies. Up Technologies is an IT consultant help desk company. It has been lately experiencing a slower performance in our computers, replacing both our DDR4 RAM modules and our 30 Windows new Inspiron 24 5000 Silver Touch all-in-one desktop motherboards will help provide us an increase in performance for programs used in our projects and data. I'll be passing it to my next colleague, Usman. I believe Usman is not here, so I'll be reading the scope. So our scope is basically staying true to the 5-day plan, having an effective research, and being able to compare on different markets. Deliverables, our deliverables are researching the parts necessary and comparing prices, opening the desktops, installing the DDR4, running the unified extensible firmware interface and basic input-output system, configuration of the computers. For our assumptions, basically, we looked into the availability of our project members. Myself, I'm available for the entire length of the project, as well as my other members. Going into the skills of the project members, myself, I will be looking into the motherboard components and using external resources to troubleshoot. Ashley will be looking at the financial analysis. Usman will also be helping with the motherboard components and troubleshooting. Amadou will be in charge of planning and initiation and looking into the vendor delivery time. It will take us 2 days to deliver the 30 RAM modules. Next, I'll be passing it to my colleague, Amadou.
Okay, so since it's a 5-day plan, we wanted to start executing right away. So the first 2 days, we will research the RAM and its compatibility with the current desktop we have, and also compare prices. The next day, we'll have 3 of the members will open the desktop towers for RAM installation. And then the next day, we should have our RAM arrived from the order that we placed, and Jesus will install the RAM with the help of one more associate to all the desktop computers. And finally, the last day, all 3 members will put together the computer and have it set up for office use. After that, we'll send out a survey to all the desktop users and see if they see any major improvement with their usage. And that is when we can conclude if our project was successful. Now moving on to financial analysis with Ashley.
For our financial analysis, we needed to obtain 30 DDR RAM RAMs, 16 gigabyte. Each individual RAM costs $64.99. The total of 30 of those would be $949.70, and with the shipping of $50, and the total price is close to $2,000. For the possible risk and issues, we have a cost risk of an escalation of the project's cost due to poor cost estimation and accuracy and the scope creep. A scheduling risk. This happens when the risk that activities will take place no longer is expected. A performance risk, and this is the risk that the project will fail to produce results consistent with the project specifications. And that's all. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you so much, team. The IT Help Desk project. You guys chose the quick route, the 5-day project. I love it. And very valuable business need, undoubtedly. So great job all around. Love to hear everybody share. Go ahead and give us some feedback Yeah, in the chat box, Ashley Ross, yeah, had it exactly right. I think every single key term in the whole entire class they hit on. That was really impressive. So great work, team. All right, team 5, Andre, Chelsea, Tiana, and Samaje. Whenever you folks are ready, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. This is our project here today, Visitors Management System. Let's meet the team, Samaje, Andre, myself, and Chelsea B. So why we need a visitors management system? As we expand our network and our offices spaces, we need an effective, centralized way to keep track of traffic within the office and our spaces it's responsible for. We need to know who's in the building, live status of all our visitors, standardized ways we register our visitors, and maintain a database of all the past visitors' traffic. Next slide. What is the background of the project? Remember arriving at a front desk or at any hospital or office space or medical office? Remember having to scribble down your name, the host name, and time of your visit in a thick visitor book or a flimsy piece of paper, and perhaps additional forms we might have to fill out while the query of other visitors grow ever longer. This project aims to do away with all these ways of keeping tabs on people and move our office into the future. So I'm going to be passing it off to my colleague, Chelsea.
All right, let's take a look at the scope. What are we even doing? So the what? We're creating a centralized electronic visitor management system to help keep track of patients and visitors within our office spaces. And we've already been approved by our IT team and our billing department. So we already have the green light to go ahead and move on to our next stages of implementation. The deliverables for our project, we're trying to create a check-in station. Oh, the slide didn't go. Next slide, please. Thank you. We're trying to create a check-in station, secure our software to create our centralized data log. Of course, we take into account our maintenance and the costs of all of these implementations and softwares. Next slide, please. How are we going to make this happen? So we plan to start rolling out our new visitor management system at our main headquarters beginning tomorrow, the 10th, and coming to full implementation within the next 3 weeks, ending on the 23rd. We're trying to do this in a singular sprint. So that way, if successful at our main headquarters, over the span of the next year, we plan to expand to our 47 offices within the 5 boroughs over the course of the next 3 years. Next slide. Who's gonna make it happen? So we've already had talks with our IT department, with our billing department, with janitorial staff, with our front desk security and other medical personnel, so that we can all come together and learn this new software and learn how to come and troubleshoot any problems that might arise. Next slide. And I'll be passing it off to Samaje.
Thank you, Chelsea. So my team and I have begun planning our Gantt chart and started right away for our milestone schedule for week 1. So week 1, starting on December 1st, which is a Tuesday, we had started brainstorming ideas, planning what we should do for our kickoff meeting. As my colleague Chelsea mentioned, on December 10th, which is our second week, we will be talking to the headquarters about our ideas, to our employees. And this Gantt chart, as I provide right here onto the screen, this is our part of our plans from week 1, where we have planned who's going to do what on this day. We also made notes of any mistakes that will be made. So this right here on the Gantt chart for week 50, it explains like the maintenance that's going to happen in maybe one of our headquarters, such as the plan, requirement, goals, deliverables, the build out, and everything else that we need. So we're fully ready and capable for our future goals. And I'm going to pass it on to Chelsea.
On mute.
So let's jump right into our financial analysis and cost estimate. So we discovered that with our ProxyClick package, the software that we decided to go with, it's a subscription-based service, and it'll run us about $360 a month, $7,560 a year. And we also decided to go with external hardware to back up our cloud storage. So we decided to go with a LaCie Thunderbolt at 120 terabytes at around 8,000 and change, that coming up to 15,000 and change, which we discovered on average, we see about 25,000 patients a year. And the average copay that we receive is around $22.50, making us to a grand total of 500,000 plus a year. And even if we only get 5% of the funds back out of other medical expenses, the project pays for itself within the first year. And we see it very feasible to roll out to our other sites. And I'll be passing it to Andre.
Okay, now I'll be talking about certain risk factors, certain threats that people might think about during the project. Some of those might involve higher costs, vulnerable to malfunctions in terms of the kiosks or devices, the visitors' personal information possibly being stolen or lost or being displayed to the rest of the public, and just simple issues like teaching visitors or staff how to use the kiosk or the system itself. And my response initially was the multiple contingencies that you see displayed here. However, because of the software that we've chosen to go along with, ProxyClick, a lot of those issues have been resolved. For example, system, let's say that an elderly woman has an issue using the system. She's had problems before. She's done it multiple times, wasted a lot of time. All of a sudden she croaks, dies, whatever the case may be. Now with this system, they have an easy to make service in terms of looking for pads and devices. No need to do that. The system also delivers unlimited kiosks based on location and size of the industry. In terms of security, it has its own security. It has its own cloud-based servers, providing us with Azure and OneDrive. It also automatically deletes personal information from the kiosk on a daily basis, weekly basis, or whichever periodical that you decide to use.
All right, Andre, I need you to wrap it up. So you're at 9 minutes right now.
This is our assumptions. Our assumptions, we have a system being able to capture all necessary visitor data required to support decision-making. Staff will be trained properly on the operation on the visitor system to ensure ongoing success. The company will also have ample staffing levels with the proper skill sets necessary to ensure the visitor system will perform at a level expected, and these are all mandatory. Next slide, please. Dependencies. These are also mandatory for our project. Project certifications from the committee, it has to be improved. Contracts also have to be improved. Funding towards the maintenance between implementations and the ongoing support of our visitor system. Next slide, passing on to Chelsea.
On mute again.
What's next? How do we keep momentum? Next slide. Any questions? And that's the end.
Excellent. Thank you so much, team. We appreciate that. Andre, Chelsea, Tiana, and Samaje. Let's go ahead and give them a clap. The visitor management system. Excellent. Loved the clean, clear graphics. Love the long-term vision, the Gantt chart, the project schedule. Excellent. One of the things you also did really well is you shared how this project will pay for itself down the road. So that makes stakeholders feel confident this is a worthy project to be involved with. All right, last but not least is our IO students, Brian, Angie, and Tyrell. When you folks are ready, the floor is yours.
Hey guys, so today we decided to create a Gear App mobile app, and it's gonna be called You Mobile App, because who isn't tired of Schoology and how confused it is. It was made by Brian, Tyrell, and myself. The start date will be January 4th, 2021, and the end date will be September 13, 2021. So it's gonna take us around 9 months to complete the app. Some things we have thought about adding to our app is the easy access. It would be free. It would be compatible with iPhone, Android, iPad, or Windows Mobile, amongst other. It will have a student email for login and a password for security, and it will have an offline functionality. For the schedule, we have made it easy just for you. We have separated the classes by state, since your app has other locations. We have made color-coded to make it easy. We have also added the link for the Zoom links for the professor and a weekly schedule, a whole year app with holidays and other events and notifications, which I will talk about later. For the grades, we're gonna use charts such as pie charts. So it would make it easier for you to know how much have you completed of the course and which percent are you there to almost have the 100%. And the next slide, please. We're gonna have extra features, which is gonna have a private or group chat, a search option, an Outlook or Office integration, so we can have the files saved easily on the cloud, and a to-do list available to check it off as you move away from the task. We're also gonna have a feedback from the users because we care about your opinion, and we want to always keep on adding extra features to make it better for you. So I'm gonna explain a little bit about how the notification is gonna work, because I know it feels really invasive when an application is asking you, oh, can we allow for the pictures, we wanna access your location, and we don't want that. We don't want you to feel like we're trying to take away your privacy. So in fact, we're actually gonna use like another method, showing you first what are the benefits if you do turn on the notification, and how can you get the better out of the application.
Thank you, Angie. And as for the deliverables of this project, I split it up into weekly intervals. So for the first 1 to 2 weeks, we're going to be writing a project brief. We're going to go over what the actual plan is to tackle this project. After that, we're going to have 4 to 5 weeks of researching your ideas with the developers. We decided to contract a third-party company to provide us with these developers. So we're going to be discussing ideas and what's possible and what's not. Past this researching phase, we're going to go on for a 6 to 12 week design sprint. So we're going to have weekly check-ins with the developers to kind of be on top of them and see what progress has been made. Another 6 to 12 weeks is going to be devoted to the development and prototyping of the actual app. We're going to integrate beta users and get feedback and see what's wrong with the system and what's not. And then we're going to allow 2 weeks to deploy to the App Store. We're going to need certificates and licensing in order to actually upload these apps into the App Store. And past that is just going to be a bunch of reviews and feedback to make the app better. Risks that we're going to be able to tackle along the way is bugs. So when I was doing my research on third parties to develop this app, it was clearly mentioned that bugs and any type of issues are going to be handled 100% by the developers themselves. These are the people that are experienced to tackle these types of situations. Another risk is choosing the wrong development partner. So since there's a lot of companies out there that do the same service, which is app development for mobile users, a big theme I saw with all of them was that they all offer a 30-day unconditional money back guarantee. So whether the case be that we don't get along with them, or we don't like the progress they're making, or they're not on schedule with us with what we plan, we have that option to take our money back and find another partner. And the last of our risks are security breaches. So we're going to tackle this problem the same way as we did with the bugs. In the actual services provided to us, it gives us the option to buy more developers, which will cost a little more, but these are developers that are going to be tackling stuff like security breaches, bugs, and other issues along the way.
Some projections we've made for this app are that problems will occur, but we don't want to focus on the problem. We want to focus on solutions and coming up with better ways to improve collaboratively. We expect to have a full transition from Schoology while maintaining our current relationship with Microsoft Office, not only for our teaching staff and students, but also for our administrative staff. And we expect changes in the upcoming year, such as new staff members to Europe and such as more members to the Europe community. So we'd like to keep an open forum on the app to try to build a feedback-based relationship. And we assume that it will be widely accepted throughout the community.
So for the financial breakdown of this actual project, we searched up different companies that build apps for people's different needs. And we have two different estimates or quotes that we got from them. One estimated between $13,000 and $15,000. The other one estimated it at $56,800. This is the range of how much it's going to cost to hire these third-party companies to build the app for us. So we use these numbers to create a kind of budget that we're going to rely on. So this budget is $85,000, which is a good ballpark of what we're going to need to actually make this app possible. So this includes $60,000 for the actual mobile app development. $5,000 is going to go towards incentives for a rapid release with no bugs or errors. $10,000 are going to be for taking into account any mistakes that might come along the way, needing extra developers, or any problem that's going to come that's going to require money. $5,000 is going to be used to deploy the actual app to the App Store and Google Play Store. And the last $5,000 are going to be used for advertisement costs to get everyone on board and to incentivize more people to join Europe for the following years.
With the Gantt chart presented, we've determined that the project will take 33 out of the 36 projected weeks. This is not including holidays, so holidays will be included in that 36. And this leaves 3 weeks of extra room for tweaks and buffering. Any questions?
Awesome, fabulous job, team. Let's go ahead and give them a clap. Year of app. I will be very happy to have a product like that in my life. So excellent. Thank you so much, team. We really appreciate it. If you're able to, please go ahead and come back onto camera if your Wi-Fi allows. Once again, the rules for voting, I want to just reiterate it. We're going to vote right now and find out who had the team that is most likely you'd want to join. Number one, don't vote for your friends. Okay, this is not a popularity contest. You're not voting for who you want to be the prom queen and king. You're voting for the people who you think I want to be on the project with them. You're not voting for a product or a project that you personally feel biased towards. So maybe there's one product that like, oh, I really like that, but this team actually did a better job presenting from a project management framework. You vote for the team that did the better job presenting the project management framework. You do not vote for the team who had the prettiest PowerPoint, the most dynamic speakers. That's not the point of this. The point is you're looking at this as someone who's taken this class the last 7 weeks, and you say, okay, this group know they're talking about. They know how project management works. This is going to be a successful project. And yeah, you're voting for the team with the most robust plan. And once again, you can't vote for yourself. So if you vote for yourself, you lose 10% off your final. So please don't do that. I know it's not easy. Take a moment, think about which one do you think is is best, and you can think, and then we're gonna go ahead and vote here in about 15 seconds or so. Before we do though, I do want to give feedback to the whole entire group. Many of you did this, and I would encourage you not to. This is not a BC class. This is not how to give a presentation, but this is just a best practice. You should never, ever, 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 ever put up a PowerPoint and then just read the slide. You just should never do that. That's not how PowerPoints work. PowerPoints are there to complement what you're saying. All right. So a lot of you in this presentation, you're not being great on your presentation, so don't worry about it affecting your grade. It's just some feedback for, I think every single group did it at least once. One person did it. The presentation is there, then you talk and build on the points. There are 41 people in this room. All 41 of us know how to read. So there's no reason to do that. So just go ahead and be sure from now on when you're giving a presentation that the PowerPoint is there to supplement what you're saying, but you're not there to read a script. All right, before we go ahead and and start impacting people's votes. All right, team one, there we go. Go ahead and vote for who you think is best. And bear in mind, you're not voting for your friends. You're not voting for the product you like the best. You're voting for this team has a strong handle on how project management works. I want to work with them. All right, I'm gonna give you 10 more seconds. We're waiting for 3 or 4 more votes. All right, a clear winner has emerged. Does anyone want to put in the chat box who they think the winner was? And polling and share the results. There you go. The winning team by a landslide, Open Tech. Amna, Majida, Ashley G, Eric, and Mahmoud. 38% of the class said, yeah, this is, I think, the best project management tool. So congratulations to that team. Excellent work. Just a quick reminder to everybody, 11:59 p.m. tonight. We need your project charter and essay done for those doing the solo project. For those of you who did the group presentation, one of your team members must submit your PowerPoint by 11:59 p.m. tonight. So we need that. Thank you so much to Ranish for stepping in last minute and keeping time. Really appreciate you. We can give him a clap. That's an important job, even though I don't know why he was getting made fun of for being told he had a fast watch. I don't know how you have a fast watch, but excellent job to everybody. I think that concludes today's final. So I wish you the best in your other classes. Have a wonderful rest of the day. And we'll see you next week for Advanced Excel for the IT students and the IO students. It was lovely to know you, and good luck in life. All right. And I'm just kidding. I'll see you at LC. All right. See you guys later.
Hey, Eric.
Can we recount the votes?
No, you cannot
Thanks,
recount the votes. Thanks, guys.
It was a scam. Come on. Look.
Look,
we got ices. See? We got ices.
I'll miss you all too. I'll miss you too, Angie. Hope all's well. Miss you too, Precious. Thank you, Sophia. You guys are so sweet.
Thank you. Have a good.
Have a great one, guys. See ya.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
See ya.
Take care. Be safe, everybody.
Eric, just a question. When will you be posting the grades up?
As soon as you submit your presentation, I'll hopefully can get it by the end of today, if not by tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you.
The sooner you send it in, the sooner I can grade.
Got it.
Any other questions from this group?
Yeah, quick question. Are we gonna do plus delta in the beginning of mod 3?
We did a plus delta project management, I think last week.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I said I wanted some quizzes. Okay. I have to brain start this now. Sorry, Eric. Thank you.
No reason to apologize. Not a problem at all. Thanks, Ashley.
I don't think I did that bad with time, did I?
No, Renish, I don't know why everybody was saying that. I'm like, how's this person making up how long time is taking? You did a perfectly fine job.
Yeah, no, you're good, bro. You're just
Yeah, thanks.
I think they were just I think they were just trolling you. I was like, really? Like you're saying he's not keeping the time right? All he's doing is pressing a button.
Nah, they were serious. They hit me up and everything.
Oh my gosh, no, please don't bother with that. That's fine.
Yeah. All right. Take care, guys.
Take care, Renish. Anything else, Ricky? Are you good?
Bye, Eric. Thank you. Have a
All
good
right.
night.